Delays, no contractors, and no need to raise money to fix subject to deals. Because we're going to get to that as well, guys. You see, buying a junker and funding it with private money is one thing. But then there's the whole universe out there of properties that we can take over subject to that also need work. That we can put tenant buyers into with their money and their hands and let them do the work so we don't have to raise money to fix the house. Disadvantages. Imagine that. There are disadvantages. We don't get all our money up front. We don't get all our money up front like we do on a wholesale deal or like we do on a rehab deal. On the other hand, you mark my words, you will probably wind up getting almost as much up front on a work for equity deal as you will on any rehab deal. That you don't get anything up front. Well, a rehab deal, you got to cash out of it. A work for equity deal, you're going to get paid the day you buy it. Most of them. Disadvantage, you're actually going to have people move out and not close. And not keep their promise. This sucks. And in fact, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have more move out than cash out. Because that's the nature of the beast. But it also depends on your participation in the back end to get them qualified for a loan and move them to that table. The more aggressive you get there, the more of them you'll get cashed out. The better you get at selecting on the front end, the more of them get cashed out on the back end. The less you care, the less of them will get cashed out. That's the way you run your own business. But you're going to have turnover. And it doesn't work very well in high-end homes. For some reason, people buying a $500,000 house just would prefer not to do the work. They want it done when they buy it. They want a pretty house. They're a different class of buyer. They got the money. They got the credit. They don't have to do the work. They're all going to do it on decorate. But they just don't want to do that much work. Will it work? Yes. But is that your model, your business model? Not so. The lower-end house is your business model. All right. Let's do some numbers to convert this to math. In this case, thank you, ma'am, we got a $150,000 order, which, by and large, across America is kind of a very decent, normal house. Some areas you can't buy anything for $150,000. And in Canada, we still have some $150,000 houses, but not the norm. Let's say this house needs $15,000 worth of repairs if we had them done. Now, if we hire work done, do we have to pay labor to get it done? Yes, we do. We have to pay contractors, plus we have to buy materials. Keep in mind, if the tenant buyer is getting the work done, all they got to do is buy materials. And they're not going to buy anywhere near as much materials as you are, because they're not going to fix it anywhere as nice as you would fix it. They're going to do only that which needs to be done to get it financed and to satisfy their needs for living in the house. For example, I may replace the carpet. They may clean it. I may replace the kitchen cabinets. They may paint them. I may add ceiling fans. They may be happy with the ones that are there or with lights. I will maybe replace some windows. They might be okay with them because they're not required to be replaced. They just probably should be. I might add, when I say we're in the north, I might add central heat and air. They might be happy with just heat. There's a whole list of things that they don't have to do to get it financed and may not want to do because it takes money out of their pocket to buy the materials. We're going to cover that list in here. However, for me, I've got to not only fix it, but I got to sell it. So if I got to sell it to a qualified buyer, I got to make it nice. I don't only got to make it nice, I got to stage it. Well, see, they're not staging it. They're moving into it. They're staging it with their own crap. So I'm going to do a lot more work to a house than any tenant buyer is going to do. I may replace a roof because I think it's going to need one in the next few years, and I just soon get it done, make it a little more sellable. They may not need to replace that roof because they can get it financed with the existing roof. So there's a big gap between what they'll spend and what I'll spend. So they're not looking at it through the same $15,000 eyes that I am. If it costs me $15,000, they're probably thinking it's going to cost them about $1,000 to $3,000 worth of materials max. Plus a couple of cases of beer for their buddies to help them. Plus, they can extend that over a period of months if they want to. They don't have to have it all at one time. Of course, I got to have the money right now if we have a contractor to do the work. So does everybody understand the difference between looking through their glasses and looking through your glasses when you're looking at a repair cost? Now, if you're going to spend $15,000 to do work on a house, will that do a lot of work to a house? Yes, it will. I showed you one that put new vinyl siding on, all new windows, central air in the backyard, new kitchen, new carpet, new paint, and boosted up for $15,000 total. And now, by the way, in Canada, you can take our renovation cost here and probably add about 25% to them. So $15,000 job does $20,000 to them. Either way, big gap between our price and their price, and the tenant buyer's price. Now, in this particular house, we've gone to an auction, or we bought it out of the MLS, or wherever we're going to get it, and we've agreed to pay $70,000 for this house. It's worth $150,000 after it's renovated. Now, $15,000 worth of work to us looks like $30,000 or $40,000 to the untrained eye out there. But guys, many of you work for equity. Tenant buyers are not untrained eyes. They know what it costs to do this work, because many of them are right there in the industry doing it day in and day out. In fact, they laugh at us for the prices we pay based on what they know it costs for some of this stuff they're putting in these houses. I just had a guy quote me $7,000 to put a central heat and air system in a 1,200 square foot house. Now, he didn't know that I know that he was full of crap. All right? Now, could you easily pay $7,000 for central heat? Now, all you got to do is call the guy with the big ad in the yellow pages, and you'll pay $7,000 for central heat and air in that house. But then I said, John, let me ask you a question. Now, you need to know before you answer that I know the answers that I'm asking you to answer. All right? So, tell me the truth, because I'll know immediately if you're not. That's kind of setting him up, you know. I said, John, what does that heat pump cost you that you're putting out there in that backyard? What does that outside unit cost you? He said, about $800. I said, what does that inside unit cost you? He said, about $600. I said, John, what is between the outside unit and the inside unit? He said, tubing. And what makes all this work? He says, the thermostat on the wall. I said, are you intending to change the thermostat? Well, he said, no, I didn't intend to. So then you're telling me that it cost you $800 for this unit, and $600 for this unit, and about a half a day's worth of labor, and you want me to pay you $7,000 for this job. Is that what you're telling me, John? He said, well, now that you look at it like that, I probably could come down some on the price. I said, well, John, how about you come down to about the $3,500 that I've been paying for this job for the last 20 years and quit pulling my chain? And he said, okay, well, I can do it for $38. Long ways from $7,000, isn't it? Yeah. Now, if I'm a contractor, do I want to charge more or less? So, you're a contractor, do you want to get paid more or less? Hello? More. I don't blame the guy. He just, take it out of somebody else, not me. I know too much. And same with you. If you can line 10 people up against the wall, you get 10 different bids, and there'll be vast differences in them for the exact same job. So, repairs to us, repairs to them. $150,000 house, we're going to pay $70 for it. Now, guys, that's about 50% or so of its at repair value. Remember now, the house is ugly. Now, you Canadians, you probably aren't getting it for $70. However, if you do a good job at search and find the ones that do need the repairs you can, you might pay a little bit more. So don't get hung up on this. All you got to do is change the numbers. And if you're going to raise the price you pay, you're also going to raise the loan amount that we're getting to here. In this case, we agreed to pay $70. Now, for many of you sitting in the room right now, would you pay $70,000 for a house worth $150 that needs $15 to work? Yeah. Who would? Huh? I probably wouldn't. I because I don't get them cheaper. Right now, I might. Depends on the sellability of the house, whether I like it, and like neighborhood, so I might. But I got better deals than that lately. All right, so we borrow 100 from a private lender. Now, who's a private lender? All right, now, let me get this straight. Let me be perfectly clear. A private lender is a human being. It's not a bank. It's not an institution. It's not a mortgage broker. It's not a mortgage broker that's putting me together with human beings. It's a human being that I go to and give them the opportunity to get a high rate return on their money safely. Getting private money is part of your training. If you're going to get into the I'm paying all cash for houses business, then you might as well get your head out of the sand and understand that if you just learn one more thing and implement it, and that's raising private money, it's pathetically easy to do, and it gives you a whole new bunch of extra strategies that you don't have as a wholesaler. Now, one of the reasons people get so hung up on wholesaling is because they just simply won't go out there and talk to a handful of people to raise private money. So they take the easy, non-confrontational way out, and they flip it and they make a few bucks to be done with it. Raising private money will quadruple your income, as any of these big members will tell you. And raising private money means flapping your lips and talking to a handful of people who have money, who would much rather pay you 7% than get 1.5% out of the money market account. Secured by a loan, a first mortgage on a piece of property at 65% of its after-repair market value. Safe loan, plenty of equity, good return, easy to get once you start asking. Now, we got a whole system on that. I'll tell you more about it later. I'm not selling it here today. In fact, I think I'm going to give it away here today to some of you. But it is part of the learning curve. Now, my example says 7% interest accruing. What's accruing mean? It means no monthly payments. Guys, I promise you, it took me 15 years to even think about asking private lenders to make me a loan with no monthly payments. 15 years to figure it out. The only difference between you making monthly payments and not making them is don't offer them when you're asking for private money. Now, if you're getting private money from mortgage brokers, they make the rules. Plus, they charge a fee. If you're getting private money from individuals, you make the rules, and there is no fee. And the rules are, I'll borrow $100,000 from you. We'll put a first mortgage on the property, close with an attorney. It'll accrue 7% interest. So if it's accruing 7% interest in 1 year, how much interest do we owe on a $100,000 loan? Let's see, 7% of 100,000, $7,000. So at the end of 1 year, we owe $107,000 on this debt. Everybody understand that? Okay, what's this house worth? $150. It's renovated, right? Okay, will it be renovated at the end of the year? Yes, will we renovate it? Probably not, but we'll still be renovated. Yeah. So is the lender safe? Yes. So all of our private money, accruing interest. I've discovered that when you don't make monthly payments, your cash flow goes through the roof. The chunk of coming in stays with you instead of becoming the chunk of going out. How many of you can use more monthly cash flow? Okay, 8 of you. If you set your business up so that you've got 6, 8, 10 of these things working all the time, and you're collecting rents, $600, $700, $800 a month on 6, 8, 10 of these things at a time, and you're not paying any payments, can you imagine what happens to your monthly cash flow? Say yes, Ron.
Yes.
All right. In fact, with a monthly income stream alone, cover all your operating costs. Yes. One marginal shift by not agreeing to make monthly payments on private money. Now, is it costing you the same whether you make monthly payments or not? Yeah. Your net profit will be the same, but your cash flow is going to go through the roof. So I bought 100, and of course I closed the purchase and the loan at the same time, as you always do. So the closing agent took out the 70, paid the bank or whoever the seller was, wrote a check for $30,000 to moi, less closing costs. Now what's the closing cost when I'm borrowing money from a private individual? Very, very, very minimal. I got no points to pay. They don't know what points are. They think there's something you get on your American Express card. Now, if I bring home $30,000, should I set aside the 15 that I know it costs to renovate this house? Say yes, Ron. Guys, if you do not set aside the $15,000 and put it in an account out of your control, by the way, do not put it in your operating account. Do not put it in your account that you write checks out of. If you mix that $15,000 with your money, pretty soon you forgot why it's there. Hello. It ain't your money. Get your measly mitts off of it. Set it aside so that you don't box yourself into a trap and become one of these motivated sellers with this property out there that needs renovated that you don't have the money to fix in case you have to. If you buy a property that needs renovated, should you always assume you've got to renovate it? Especially if you put a $100,000 loan on it. Because if I put a $100,000 loan on it, have I diminished my chances of wholesaling it for more to get that loan paid off? Yes, I have. I probably borrowed more on this house than you got to wholesale it for. Would you all agree? Probably so. So you got to be careful. Do not spend that money. It's not yours yet. Now the $15,000, you can spend that because it's yours. Well, by the way, is the $15,000 profit? No, it's not. It's not profit. You do not have a profit until the day you cash out of the house. Borrowed money is not profit. The only way you can make a profit is to sell the house. However, it is cash flow that you can use. Just keep in mind, you're still over the 100. You can't use the 15. Now, not yet anyway. Now, isn't it reasonable to assume that if I get the property renovated, then I can spend the 15 if I want to? Of course, how am I going to get this property renovated? I'm going to put my tenant buyer in there and let them get it renovated so that I can go get my $15,000 out of my escrow account. My escrow account. Not some mortgage broker's escrow account telling me when I get my money. So are we all financially literate enough to know to set this money aside and not spend it? Not spend it even when an emergency comes. Not find a reason to take the money out because we're going to put it back later. In fact, I'll tell you what you do, gentlemen. You put it in a separate account that requires your and your wife's signature to get money out of it. That'll fix that problem right then and there. And ladies, he don't touch the money. No matter what good excuse he has, and a Harley is not one of them. He don't touch the money. All right? How do you think I learned all this? Okay, so here we go. Now we're selling all these options. But we're not going to sell for 150 because it needs 15 in repairs. To us. What does it need in repairs to our buyer? 2 or 3. So we give our buyer a break. We sell it for 135. Remember now, get this now. This is very important that you get this internally. If I'm selling to an owner-occupied qualified buyer, guys, I'm probably going to have to in this market take the $150,000 value and knock it down to 135 or so anyway. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. I just showed you I had one page 115, sold it for 98. However, am I selling to a qualified buyer with good credit and down payment? No. So when I pull this buyer out of the woodwork, I make the rules. There ain't going to be no price negotiating unless I feel like negotiating because the price is not the issue. Here's the issue. You get to move in my house. You get the option to buy my house at a discounted price. You get to fix the house any way you want to fix it as long as you do this minimal list that you and I are going to agree upon. And you get to buy it whenever you feel like buying it as long as it's within this term that we agree upon, which is ample time. And I'm going to get your credit cleaned up for you along the way so that you can go make a bigger mess later after you buy my house and buy stuff you can't afford. You can get all these advantages. In the meantime, you get to live in the house, call it your own, bring your friends over, tell them you own the house. We won't tell them any different. Because in fact, they have an option to buy it. They are in control of the house. It's a unilateral agreement. Until they violate their rules or buy the house, you can't do anything but sit around and wait for them to pass or play. Huge advantages to the buyer. In return, we ain't negotiating price. Especially when we have 2,238 buyers on our list like Joe McNamee. The price is a 135. If you don't know that kind of price, well, I've forgotten on the internet. I better not do that. Okay. I'm selling it as is for 135. I'm going to get $3,000 deposit if I can. Would I take two? Who'd take two? Who'd take two? The answer, every single one of you. Okay. If you can't get three, you'll take two. But if you can get four, you want four. If you can get five, you want five. Who will determine what you're going to get? The marketplace will determine what you're going to get, won't they? Okay. So don't get so cocky and think that, if I don't get $5,000, I can put nobody in that house. Right. I hear you. I don't believe you, but I hear you. Now, could you get five? Yeah, I hope so. Let me tell you what will help you get five. You may even get 10. You may get more. If you truly understand the magic created here to do it correctly. Number one, I don't have any monthly payment going out. Therefore, am I under any time pressure to put somebody in this house? You see how important it is? Is that important? What kind of a decision do we make when we're making monthly payments out of our pocket on properties that are vacant? What does that do to our decisions on the exit strategy? Yeah, we're now managing from chaos. So now, if I don't have any outgoing payment, can I now build this great big old huge buyers list and work the buyers list and let the market come to me and take the absolute low-hanging fruit and pick the cream of the crop? Am I even in any hurry to do that? No. So if I run my business the way it should be run and take the pressure off myself and don't box myself into a corner, then it's obvious I can easily get more, well not easily, but normally get more than $3,000 from the marketplace, even if the house needs repairs. But is that buyer that I'm going to get more from in the majority or the minority? In the minority. So they owe me $132 if I put them in with $3,000. Is that a $3,000 deposit or down payment? It's a deposit. It's a deposit. Unless I live in Texas, then it's a down payment. You Texans can't lease option the house and collect a non-refundable deposit. But you can sell it on an all-inclusive trust deed and collect a down payment and literally evict them from the house in less time than foreclose them out of the house in less time than it takes me to evict them out of the house. Gotta depend on where you live. Texans cannot collect non-refundable deposits on houses. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me on this one. You can. Because it is your house and you did not take over loan subject to and it's your underlying loan. So check with your attorney on that one, Texans. Alright. So I put them in the house. They owe me $132. They give me $3 and they're giving me $600 a month rent. Now $600 a month rent, pretty cheap rent for a $150,000 house class. Okay, another advantage to the tenant buyer. I'm not after maximum monthly rent here. I don't need to get top dollar out of it. I'm happy to give them concessions on the monthly rent. I'm going to put them under a time constraint by which that rent's going to stay low. Give them plenty of time to fix it. Get me cashed out. Give me time to clean up their credit. But I'm not here trying to make a living, trying to get $1,000 a month rent out of this house. I want them to feel comfortable with their monthly rent. And remember, all the time they're in this house, they're also having to come out of pocket to spend money for repairs. Now, if later on in this book, we actually decide to put up the money to do the repairs for them, does that give me a license to charge more rent? Well, you better make a note in here right now because I might not say that later. If I put up money for repairs, charge more rent. Alright, look at all the stuff that happened down at the bottom. Number two is really important. You get $15,000 out of your repair escrow as soon as the tenant repairs the house, and $15,000 at closing. What closing? Purchase, not sale. I got $15 grand the day I bought that I can use to attend more boot camps with. That was a subliminal message. Alright. Plus I got $15 set aside. It is really my money. I just can't spend it yet. Plus I got $3,000 from my tenant buyer because I closed my sale same day I closed my purchase. See, the attorney does all that crap. I just run there like a train doing paperwork. Paperwork for your case is almost nil. And in fact, I got the lease option agreement for it for equity in the book, but nobody in this room is ever going to fill one out. Because if I catch you doing it, I'm going to spank you. Who fills out agreements? Attorneys do that, don't they? Yeah, not you. I just put it in here so you can see the agreement. You can see the cool $6,000 agreement that I dropped in your lap for free. That's why it's in here. Oh, you're welcome. You're lucky. You get a big check when a tenant buys or refis. And we're going to go with that. We get monthly cash flow. And I'm telling you guys, the cash flow on this thing, to me, is as important as the upfront money because cash flow is what keeps us able to survive. It's what gives us the money to sit back and think and grow without being strangled. And it fixes one problem in real estate. And that problem is we don't know when our next check's coming. I get a lot of people coming in and out of the job market. And it's a pretty big jump to come from where you get a check every Friday to where you get no checks and don't know where the next one's coming. It destroys peace of mind and puts stress on relationships. But when you know you got a handful of houses out here paying $600-700 a month, and you know where the next check's coming, at least you got the consistent cash flow. And the only thing you got coming out of that is taxes and insurance, and you don't even pay those but once a year. And you probably will never write a check for either one of them because your house might be cashed out, but you will for insurance for sure. But remember, when you got this loan up here, didn't insurance get paid the day you closed the loan? So your first year's policy is already paid, so it's not even, if you cash out within your first year, you'll never write another insurance check. Yeah, get a refund. Okay? Plus you're going to get future deposits when some of your tenants move out. You're going to learn that people moving out is not necessarily a bad thing. Just remember, every time they move, they forfeit their deposit, and the house is probably in better condition than that which they moved in. See, there's one good thing about putting people in ugly houses. They can't make them ugly. They're already ugly. So what are they going to do? The worst is nothing. Okay, that's how you put them in there. What do you got to lose? What if they don't repair? What do I care? They're living in it. They don't repair right. Who they got to blame? Themselves. If the lender says it's okay, I say it's okay. I'm not going to live in it. Well, what if they move out and don't fix it? What if the next guy moving in will fix it? Well, what if they don't? What if you get hit by an airplane and get in your car today? You have no holding cost. How come? Because you don't have a vacant house. You can pay to hold it, not paying to hold it. Most of the closing costs will pass to your buyer. That's a beautiful thing. When I put my tenant buyer in there and they're doing all the work, I'm not going to pay all that crap I paid on the house I cashed out of this week. It's ridiculous. I only basically paid it to help the realtor more than anything else so they could get their commission check and get that buyer closed. Which incidentally took 2 months. 30 days beyond when they had it set to close, it wound up closing. That's how bogged down they are, how screwed up the system is out there. It's another one of those things I don't like about rehabbing and retailing for cash. It's in the control of the lenders. When you get paid, I hate that. No contractors, no repairs to do, at least as soon as we figure out why. And here's the bottom one, number 12, is big. Here's the biggie. You can do 5 of these for every one rehabber you're doing. You can create 5 times the income, 5 times the growth, 5 times the equity, 5 times the cash flow, because you're not bogged down with costly entanglements called renovations. So look at the net profits comparison on next. This is a mind-boggling chart right here. But hey, it's true. It's just simple math. I'm on page 9. It's math. You can't lie. Math doesn't lie. On the left, we bought the house. We went to a seminar. We were taught to rehab. We like it. We're cool. We make something pretty out of something ugly. We're looking for that qualified buyer. We still buy the house for $70,000. It's worth $150. But in this marketplace, is it reasonable to assume you're not going to sell it for $150? Yes or yes to a qualified buyer? I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm only knocking it down to $140 for you. I say you're probably going to take a bigger hit than that. Why? Because there's a lot of product out there for people to pick from right now that are qualified. That's why. Can you still find those buyers? Absolutely. But do you have pressure on the price? Yes. Okay. So selling for $140. I'm not collecting any rent because nobody's in the house. Purchase price is still minus 70. Now I did the repairs, so I got to take the other $15,000 out that I spent. I got to subtract 6 months interest. If anybody in this room doesn't think you're going to pay 6 months interest buying and renovating and cashing out of a house, all that means to me is you haven't done one yet. In fact, if you get in and out in 6 months, you did good. Now, will some of them take less? Will some of them take more? Should we easily use an average of 6 months? And how do we get to an average? Some more, some less. Average, middle. Right, Rick? CPA, explain average to you. Okay. Miscellaneous cost, $10,000. Well, what's that, Ron? There ain't no way I'm going to spend $10,000 selling a $140,000 house. Oh, really? I just told you it cost me $13,000 to cash out of a $98,000 house. Now, granted, that did include real estate commission. But also granted, you're a $140,000 house, not a $98,000 house. You're going to spend $10,000. And you're going to be darn lucky if you get by with $10,000. Very lucky. But remember now, that includes the cost of finding the buyer and then the cost of getting the buyer through the system, qualified, and all that junk that's on that HUD one that you have no control of, that the seller almost always pays. So you got a net 41.5. Nothing wrong with that, is there? Who'd be happy net 41.5 on a $140,000 sale? Yeah, all of you should be raising your hands. That's a lot of money. That's as much as some of you make in 3 or 4 months' work on a job. Assuming you had a job, right? And then if I'm selling houses like this, am I in long-term capital gains or short-term? I mean short-term. Short-term means 35% tax bracket. You say, well, Ryan, I'm not no 35% tax bracket. I'll say, well, class, you will be. You do a couple of these a year. But you're in 35% tax bracket. And there it goes to Uncle, which you know they need the money now. And they're going to need more of it. And just for the record, if you think the 35% tax bracket is going to stay at 35%, you don't watch much television. Your taxes are going to go up in this country almost as much as the Canadians. But you're going to get free health insurance. Yeah. Free. Yeah, free. Look, whether you like it or not, you're paying taxes. One way or another. You're going to pay them peacefully or forcefully, but you're paying the taxes. You're going to pay them with penalties or without penalties, but you're paying the taxes. Right, Rick? Uncle is your partner, and you're getting 35% of that net. So you netted $26,975. Not bad. Still not bad. Now, but just look at the right-hand column now. Same house. Sold it as is for $135, but I collected. We're assuming 12 months rent. It took me 12 months to get my guy qualified, get him cashed out, which is about a good average. Okay? So I collected $7,200 in rent, plus the $135. I still paid the $70, but I got no repairs. Why? Because my buyer's doing them. I got $7,000 in interest because I kept it a year. 7% of $100,000 is $7,000. So I got $7,000 in interest. In reality, this is coming out of my net profit. My miscellaneous cost on this one's only about $3,000 on the back end because I'm not going to pay nearly the amount of closing costs I paid over here when I'm looking for that almighty cash out buyer. I might have to pay more than that. I don't care. Give or take. There's plenty of room. If I have to pay more. Now I'm down to 62.2 gross profit. But since I've kept it a year, I'm in a 15% tax bracket called long-term capital gains, which you Canadians have as well. Can't remember what the number is. I think it's 20%. They have them up there too. So we got an after-tax profit of 52.8. Guys, I got 50% more pre-tax profit and 100% more post-tax profit because I did the work for equity over the buy and rehab and sell for cash. Which one's better? Work for equity. Yeah, but I need my money now. I want paid now. Oh, let's turn the page and see if we get paid now. Let's look at cash flow. Now, does cash flow have anything to do with net profit? Say no. In fact, could you have a net profit still have lousy cash flow? Could you have great cash flow and have zero net profit? Yes. So the previous page was net profit. This page is just pure cash flow. All right, our first chunk of cash came from the day we closed the loan. We got $15,000 we could call our own. That's the closing cost. And our next chunk of cash came from the day we got the buyer to finish the repair list so we can take the money out of the repair escrow. And just between you and me and the lamppost, I'd never take all the money out of the repair escrow until the house is cashed out and gone. Because you may have to repair it. You may have to put some money back into that house later. Smart business decision would be to leave at least $5,000 of that money in that account even after the tenant buyer gets the house in good shape to prepare for things to go wrong. Do things go wrong where you live? Well, if you don't know that, it just means you haven't done anything so it can go wrong yet. Things go wrong. Murphy lives here. Prepare for it. Don't be naive and expect things to go everything to go right like they do in the seminars. Out there in the real world, you have to adapt and overcome and fix things. So the more money you set aside for those contingencies, the more proud you are of yourself for having been smart enough to set that money aside. Don't spend it all. Now, when the house cashes out, there's another bonus. Go to that escrow account, snatch out of the $5,000 out of there, and take your family out and buy them the biggest, best dinner in town. And if it's in Jacksonville, you're going to be bringing them to LeGrand's seafood and steak. As soon as I get it open, that's a plug. All right. And then the day you lease it, you get another $3,000, which preferably is the day you close the purchase. So you got at least $18,000 the day you bought the house that you can call your own in this particular case, and 15 not very long thereafter. Come on, that's good, strong cash flow. And remember, you didn't get much of that from your tenant buyer, so you're not relying on a marketplace with huge amounts of money bringing up to you. Now, the day you cash out, you get another $22,000. Look down at the bottom. That's your $132 that they owe you, minus the $107 that's owed on the loan, and the $3,000 in closing costs that you're going to pay. You got another $22,000, an incentive to get that buyer qualified to get them to the closing table. But just for the record, would you be okay if you didn't get that $22,000 right now? Yes? All right. Would it be in your best interest if you didn't get that $22,000 right now?
Yes.
Because the minute you get that $22,000, what do you got to pay? Income taxes. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not pay income taxes on any of this money except the rent during this whole time that you still own the house. In addition to that, if you get that $22,000, the goose died. No more golden eggs. No more monthly income. No more tenants moving out creating more deposits. Hopefully, if we ever get appreciation back, no more appreciation. So the goose died. And you're doing all that to get that measly $22,000 when you've already sucked 33 out of the deal, plus 7,200 for rents. You've already got $40,000 out of the deal. What are you worried about that 22 for? Relax, chill out, let it make you rich. Instead of being in this all hell-bent mode that you got to go cash out everything you get your hands on. Where'd you get this quick turn crap from anyway? It's all about cash and cash flow. Don't let common sense get away from you, and you get overridden by habit.